Welcome to Guided Yoga, my friends. We'll begin today's practice from our knees position in our child's pose. So lower down to your knees, sending your hips back, extending your arms to the front, lowering your forehead down, and beginning to connect to your body, connect to your breath. Allowing the belly to expand as you inhale. Contract as you exhale. Visualizing your diaphragm moving down towards the pelvic floor as you inhale, as your ribs expanding, lungs filling up with air. And as you exhale, the diaphragm is moving back towards the lungs. The ribs are contracting, emptying the belly. Visualize the ribs expanding, the area between the ribs expanding and contracting as you exhale. As you keep breathing in and breathing out, the internal organs are moving up and down. The kidneys are moving. Slowly softening the breath. Breathing in and breathing out through the nose. Allowing your mind to quiet down. Allowing yourself just to breathe and not think about anything. When you're ready, slowly lengthen through the right side of the body and walk the fingertips all the way to the left. Keeping your hips over the heels, breathing into the right side. Feel the ribs expanding. And you can explore rotating your right palm up to the ceiling as you sink down and reach your sit bones to the back of the room and observe how it feels on the back of your armpit, your tricep area, the outer shoulder blade area. And now bring your forearm to the floor, push your forearm into the mat, and it's helping you to twist, taking your shoulders and reaching your left arm back. Reach your left fingertips back and push your right forearm into the mat. Feel the skin sort of moving on top of the ribs as you twist. And you can even do this little release and then twist again. And just try to connect to the movement of the soft tissue. As if you're squeezing out water from your t-shirt, you're sort of doing the same thing with your ribs. And exhale, release, and bring your left forearm down to the floor, keeping both forearms on the mat. And now draw the pubic bone towards the ribs, pushing your floor away from you, and round in your lower back, middle back, upper back. Tuck the chin. And then try to lift through the heart. So when you lift through the heart, press the forearms into the mat and sort of draw the mat in towards you, and it's going to help you to lift. And exhale, push the floor away from you, round. Draw the floor towards you, lift. And exhale, round. And if you wish, you can lift the elbows, extending your arms, and push the floor away from you. Exhale, lower. And now, extending your arms, lengthen through the left side, and move the arms to the right, and lengthen through the left. Waist area, ribs area, armpit, tricep, forearm, even the pinky finger. Finding the length, projecting your left sit bone to the back of the room and breathing into the side body. And now bring your left forearm to the floor and begin finding the twist. As you push your forearm into the mat, you're rotating the chest to the right, trying to stack the shoulders and extending your right palm, extending your right arm, pushing the palm to the back of the room. Observe the sensations. And you can soften and then return as you squeeze. Visualize you are reading the water out of your ribs. Focus on the soft tissue moving on top of your ribs. Breathing, lengthening through the right arm. Inhale and exhale, slowly release and bring your right forearm to the floor, and now press the forearms into the mat and draw them towards you, and it's helping you to lift through the heart. And exhale, push the forearms into the mat, rounding, tucking the chin. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. You can press the palms into the mat to lift through the elbows, and as you push the floor away from you, try to round even more. You can gently move your shoulders one by one, lengthen through one side and then the other, and observe how it feels on the waist area, on the sides of the body. And when you're ready, curl the toes, lifting the hips, soften through the ankles, and shift the hips back for a moment. Observe how it feels. You can lift your torso and sink over the heels, and you will feel more stretch. You can move the knees to the front as you sink a little deeper into the stretch, and you will feel it more in your toes. And then move the knees in, directing the heels back, and the sensations would move to your arches. Now bring the palms to the floor and curl the toes. And find your cats and cows. Draw the pubic bone towards the ribs, round your lower back, middle back, upper back, tucking the chin. And inhale, slowly rolling the biceps out, lifting through the heart. Exhale, draw the pubic bone towards the ribs and round. Inhale, lift through the heart, find your arch. exhaling, rounding. And as you stay rounded, shift the hips back all the way as if you're trying to move into child's pose. And before you begin straightening the back, begin pressing the shin bones into the mat, reversing, and then bring your spine to neutral. Slowly draw the pubic bone towards the ribs, rounding, shifting back, and as you push the floor away from you, keep rounding, tucking the chin, drawing the pubic bone towards the ribs. Feel your spiky areas of your vertebrae moving into opposite directions, moving away from one another. And now press the shin bones into the mat. You're still staying rounded. Keep rounding, 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 reversing, and then bring your spine to neutral. Now staying in your neutral position, shift the hips back one more time, and now draw the pubic bone towards ribs, round your lower back, middle back, upper back, and reversing to the front and bring your spine to neutral. Send the hips back, draw the pubic bone towards the ribs and round. Push the shin bones into the mat, return to the front, and bring your spine to neutral one more time. Send the hips back, scoop and round, reverse, and return to neutral. Extend your right leg out to the side, press through the outer edge of your foot into the mat. We are going to do the same thing, moving back, drawing the pubic bone towards the ribs, rounding, tucking the chin, and reversing to the front and bringing your back to neutral. Send the hips back, observe how it feels on your inner thigh, and now scooping, draw the pubic bone towards the ribs, rounding, and returning to the front. Bring your spine to neutral one more time. Send the hips back, press the foot into the mat, draw the pubic bone towards the ribs to round, and return to the front. Press your left palm into the mat and reach your right arm up. Reach it to the fingertips towards the ceiling. And exhale, thread your right arm under the left armpit. And the flexibility of your inner thigh and your lower back would be restricting you probably. And you can lower to the block. Or maybe you can lower all the way. So be careful, don't force anything. Inhale, press your left palm into the mat and slowly rising up, returning to the tabletop position. So from here, rotate your right toes slightly out to the side, and then when you bend the knee is moving in the direction of the toes. If you need to, you can move your heel slightly in, and you move for 1, 2, and now you extend the leg, and now shift the hips back. You can lift the toes and draw the pubic bone towards ribs, round your lower back, middle back, upper back, return to neutral, lower the toes and pause for 1, 2, observe how it feels on your inner thighs, and now lift the toes, shift the hips back, draw the pubic bone towards ribs, round your lower back, middle back, upper back, and now keep lifting your toes and lengthen through your lower back. Send the sit bones to the back of the room. Keep external rotation of your inner thigh. Observe how it feels. Lower the toes and again bend and pulse. 1, 2. Extend the leg. Lift your right toes. Send the hips back to the back of the room. Try keeping your knee lifting, gazing up to the ceiling. And maybe you start feeling it right away. If you are not understanding where you're supposed to feel, you can help to very gently do external rotation. You can slightly move the tissues out and you will feel it. Send the hips back and draw the pubic bone towards ribs, rounding, and now shifting forward. And from here, don't release the external rotation, lengthen, and you will feel it right away. And now lower the toes one more time and pulse. 1, 2, and return. Lift the toes one more time. You can guide the tissues to external rotation. Send the hips back. I feel lots of sensations here. And now you can do a couple of pulses here. Don't force it. Very gentle, very tiny moves. And now draw the pubic bone towards ribs rounding, moving to the front, and then here lengthen through the sit bones up to the ceiling. And exhale, slowly lower the toes down. And now keep the knee bent and pulse. 1, 2, and extend. 1, 2, and extend. And now rotate the heel inward towards you and pulse. Again, 1, 2, and extend. 1, 2, and extend. Rotate the toes to the front. Pulse. 1, 2, and extend. 1, 2, and extend. Slowly rising up, and now lift your left arm up and find your side stretch. Stretching through the left side of the body, and press your left shin bone into the mat. You may notice that the left hip is hinged. So as you press the shin bone into the mat, it's helping you to lengthen here. Draw the pubic bone, this bone, towards your lower ribs. Sort of you wanted to shorten the space between the pubic bone and the ribs, and you feel more length here. And now exhale, sink the hips back and up and stretch to the left. Down, you can spiral the arm down to the floor, and now up and back. Down, up and lift through the heart. Down, up and lift through the heart. Down, up and lift through the heart. And now going all the way down and open the space between your inner thighs. Lift your left arm up and now stretch, hinge to the right side as low as you can. Remember, focus on your length, on your sensations. Try not to force, and in order to copy my expression of the pose, keep reaching your left fingertips to the right, flex the foot. And now you can rotate your chest towards the right side. Just be careful with your hamstrings, not to overstretch. Inhale, lift your chest halfway up. Exhale, return to neutral. Now bending the right knee, and the left knee is touching the sole of the right foot. And very slowly begin folding down. Observe how it feels in your outer right hip. Breathing, maybe you can lower to your chest, to your belly. Maybe bring the block under the chest. Inhale, lift your chest halfway up, and exhale, bring the palms slightly in towards the shin. Again, you draw, you push the palms into the mat to round your back, tucking the chin, and now draw the palms in, and it's helping you to lift and direct the sit bones to the back of the room, which helps you to lengthen here in your glute, in your outer hip. Inhale, push and round. Inhale, draw and lift through the heart. Push and round. Inhale, lift through the heart. Slowly return to neutral, walk the palms in. And now bring the top of your left foot to the floor. So if you have the foot externally rotated, bring the top of the foot down. And now we're going to power up, engage through your pelvic floor, your core. Visualize you're trying to grab the ball with your inner thighs and your pelvic floor, and the glutes are helping you, and you feel this internal squeeze. The core is engaging. So we're going to use this action to rise up and slowly lower down. Very carefully rise up. Be careful with the knees. And if you have to, use the wall or chair for support. And down. Inhale, rising up, and try to lengthen through the front of the right hip. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Last one. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. and we are going to rise up. And now bring the palms to the floor and return back to your tabletop. Spread the fingers and now push the floor away from you. Roll the biceps out. Imagine you're trying to rip the mat apart. And as you do it, you're around in your upper back and keep ripping the mat apart. You'll feel nice action in your middle back, the area between the shoulder blades. And maybe you'll feel tension in the front of your neck, your chest working. And now stay rounded in your upper back. Keep protracting. And begin finding the arch in your lower back. And exhale, rounding, tucking the chin. Inhale, arch. So you're working on mobility just of the lumbar spine, your lower back. And arch. Stay rounding in your upper back. So it's not going to be a big move. Don't go too far into the arch. You're just arching towards the ribs and then rounding, arching and rounding. And now stay rounded with your whole spine, tucking the chin, draw the pubic bone towards the ribs, spread the fingers and keep ripping the mat apart. And now you're squeezing the shoulder blades. Imagine you're trying to squeeze the pencil and rounding, protracting and retracting. Protracting, retracting, pushing the floor away from you, breaking the floor. Protracting, retracting, and keep ripping the mat apart. Protracting, retracting, slowly return to neutral, soften through your neck. And now send the hips back. Draw the pubic bone towards the ribs, round your lower back, middle back, upper back, stay rounded, and then return to neutral. Send the hips back, scoop and round, and return to neutral. And now extend the left leg out to the side, and we are going to do the same movement. Press your whole right shin bone into the mat. Send the hips back. And observe how it feels on your inner left thigh. And now draw the pubic bone towards the ribs, round your lower back, middle back, upper back. Push your right shin bone into the mat. It's helping you to reverse. And now begin sending the sit bones to the back of the room, bringing your spine to neutral. Send the hips back, scoop and round, and return to the front. Bring your spine to neutral. Send the hips back, scoop and round, and return to neutral. And now externally rotate the foot to the left, and now bend the knee. You pulse for 2, 1, 2, and extend. And now as you extend, lift the left toes, press the heel into the mat, externally rotate the thigh. You can use the help of your fingers. Move the tissues slightly out, and now send the hips back. Keep the toes lifting up to the ceiling. Observe how it feels. And now draw the pubic bone towards the ribs, round your lower back, middle back, upper back. Push your right shin bone into the mat. You're reversing to the front. And then don't let the thigh rotate inwards. Lengthen through the sit bones. Return your spine to neutral. Observe how it feels. And now lower the toes, pulse for 2, 1, 2, and return and repeat. Send the hips back, scoop and round. Return to the front and lengthen in your lower back. Lower the toes, bend 1, 2. Observe how it feels on your inner thigh or groin. Lift the toes, straighten the leg. Try not to lock the knee. Externally rotate, send the hips, scoop and round. Return to the front. And now lengthen through the lower back and don't let the thigh to go inward. Last one, lower the toes, pulse 1, 2, extend, send the hips back, scoop and round, return to the front and lengthen. Now lower the toes to the floor, rotate them to face the front of the room, and now push your right palm into the mat. find your twist to the left. Inhale and exhale, thread your left arm under the right armpit, sinking your shoulder down to the floor or the block. Focus on reaching your left fingertips to the right side of the room. Maybe you can extend your right arm up, just to play with variations. Trying to keep your hips over, trying to keep your right hip stacked over the right knee. And project through the sit bones to the back of the room. And when you're ready, press your right palm into the mat, engage the core to slowly rise up. And now open the foot, externally rotate the foot out to the left. And now bend and pulse for 2, 1, 2. Extend and lift the toes. And now send the hips back. Draw the pubic bone towards ribs, round your lower back, middle back, upper back. Keep externally rotating the hip. Slowly rising up as you stay around it. And now begin lengthening through your lower back. Bringing your spine to neutral. Observe how it feels on your inner thigh. Maybe even your outer calf muscles. Just observe where you feel it. All of us would feel different sensations. Lower the toes. And now pulse for 2, 1, 2. Try not to fall into the end range of the motion. Extend the leg. And now bring the toes in to face the front of the room. And you're pulsing, bending the knee for 2, 1, 2. And return. Now bring the heel in. And pulse 1, 2. Extend. Bring the toes in and pulse 1, 2. And extend and slowly walk the palms in and slowly rising up. Press your right shin bone into the mat. Draw the pubic bone towards the ribs, direct it towards the ribs. Stretch through the front of the right hip. Inhale, lift your left arm up and visualize the arm is growing sort of from the knee or from the outer hip. Feel the connection of your whole lateral line from the fingertips to your IT band. Press the shin bone into the mat, stretch and breathe into the right side of the body. Expand the ribs, observe the sensations. Breathe with your armpit. Allow the belly to expand, lower back to expand. And now you can add spiral movements. Rotate your right armpit down to the floor and then to the left. You can touch the floor and round, tucking the chin. Inhale up and stretch. Open the heart. You can even lift through the heart to the ceiling into a little back bend. And exhale, round. Inhale up and back. And you can sink the hips all the way to the heel. Inhale up. And lift through the heart. Exhale, sink and round, spiral down. Inhale up, spiral up to the ceiling. Exhale, send the hips back and down. Inhale up, press the shin bone into the mat, stretch through the front of the hip. Exhale down. Last one, inhale up. And exhale down. And sink all the way and open your inner thighs as wide as you can. Keep your left leg extended, flex the foot. When you're ready, inhale, lift your right arm up, lengthen. Again, visualize your arm is growing from your hip. Breathe into the side ribs, your armpit, and begin hinging to the left. Reaching the fingertips to the opposite side. You can flex the palm, observe how it feels. You can reach for the toes. Inhale and exhale, slowly begin rotating the chest to face the left thigh. Engage the core, engage the glutes. Breathe into the low back. Feel the ribs expanding. Trying to keep both sit bones on the mat. Inhale, lift your chest halfway up. Exhale, return to neutral. Now bend the left knee, be careful. Bring the shin parallel to the front edge of the mat, and your right knee is touching the left sole of the foot, and bring the top of your right foot to touch the floor. And very carefully move the tushy out, move the glutes out to the sides, and begin lengthening and folding down. Visualize the sit bones directing to the back of the room and your pubic bone to the floor. And little by little you begin folding down, and observe where you feel it. I feel it all the way towards my calf muscle. You can help yourself to move the tissue from side to side. Find some glide. Lowering down. Maybe you can lower to your belly, to your chest. Bring the block under your forehead or your heart. And the left side may be a little bit more tight. Maybe it looks a little bit crooked, and that's fine. Remember, this is why we are doing, to balance out our body. Breathe into the lower back, into your belly, your pelvic floor, your outer left hip. Inhaling, rising up. And now prepare to bring the weight into your legs. Engage the core. So visualize you are trying to grab like a ball, maybe a children's ball, and you are contracting your pelvic floor, your inner thighs, your core, the glutes, and it's helping you to rise up, pushing your shin bones into the mat. Up, and now stretch through the front of the hip. Make sure you have enough cushion under your knees. And in a controlled way, slowly begin lowering down. Inhaling up. And observe, maybe this side feels also a little bit more tight, more crooked. Maybe the hips do a little wavy path. When they rise up, try to move in a straight line and down. Inhale up, exhale down, and make sure the weight is on the shin bones also, and not just the knees and ankles. One more time, slowly rising up, stretch, exhale down. One more time, inhaling, rising up, exhale down, and slowly coming up, and move your left foot to the outside of the mat. Bring the palms to the floor, and now open your knees wide and keep your feet together. Send the hips back. Scoop your pubic bone towards the ribs, round your lower back, middle back, upper back, tucking the chin, stay rounded, and return to neutral. Send the hips back, scoop and round, move to the front, return to neutral, and now change, move the knees towards one another, open your feet wide. Sending the hips back, observing how it feels in your hip bones, in your hip joints. Draw the pubic bone towards the ribs, round your lower back, middle back, upper back, tucking the chin, move to the front, and then return to neutral. Send the hips back, scoop and round, and return to neutral. Send the hips back, scoop and round, and return to neutral. Now bring your knees to neutral, to your regular tabletop. Find your half plank, shoulders over the wrists, spread, stretch through the front line. Send the hips back, scoop and round, and return to the front, stretching through the front of your body. Send the hips back, scooping and rounding, and stretching through the front line. Now extend the legs, curl the toes, lift the knees, finding your plank. And now shift the hips back and up. Reach the sit bones up to the ceiling. And then begin reaching the heels down, find your downward dog. Observe how it feels. Now slowly lifting your heels, draw the pubic bone towards ribs, round your lower back, middle back, upper back, push through the heels to the front of the room, and you're moving into a rounded plank. And now slowly sinking the hips, stretching through the front of your body, finding this upward dog variation. Exhaling, soften through the elbows, bend the knees, send the hips back, find your downward dog. Inhale, lift the heels up, draw the pubic bone, finding your wave, rounding your lower back, middle back, up, back, sinking the hips, lifting through the heart. One more time, bend the knees, send the hips back and up, downward dog. Finding your wave, round your lower back, middle back, upper back, tuck the chin, sinking the hips, lift through the heart. And now send the hips back, downward dog. Walk your legs here, observe the sensations. Observing how your downward dog feels without doing any hamstring stretches, and slowly walk the palms in towards the feet and slowly draw the pubic bone towards the ribs, rising up, staking your vertebrae one on top of the other. Shoulders over the hips, hips over the knees, knees over the ankles. Focus on your third eye and align the crown of the head over the spine. Bringing the palms to the heart. Being grateful for everything your body was able to accomplish today, for all the tension you were able to release. Thank you guys for joining me for this quick class. I hope you feel the difference in your hips and more smooth and fluid in your spine when you walk today after the class and go to do your tasks. Maybe you have to go to work or take care of your kids. Just observe how your hips feel. I feel very, very smooth and open in my hips joint, as if somebody put some oil. So I hope you feel the difference too. Please share with your friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. If you love these classes but you feel like the short classes are not enough for you, you crave for more, you can join me at gayatri.yoga, where you get access to full-length classes, 60, 80, 90-minute flows that helps you to deepen the practice and helps me to keep creating these free classes. Until we practice again, namaste.